Hello everyone, I'm Sal, this is Jawesome Possum, and I just want to talk about the new Marathon game that just got announced recently from Bungie. Marathon is, I'm not going to give you the Wikipedia breakdown on what this thing is, but it was an old FPS series from the 90s. It had about 3 games, and they were really fucking awesome. I loved them a lot. I had a lot of fun playing them when I was younger. Definitely didn't play them as much as I did Halo, because Halo obviously was the new fun thing for me when I was a kid. So I didn't play a whole... I didn't play all of Marathon, but I played a lot of Marathon, and I really enjoyed it. And I loved the story and the world building and the way they told stories, and it was really fun. So now, Destiny 2 is, still moving on, but we're also doing Marathon. This new Marathon game is not going to be a single-player campaign game, and this has made a lot of people very upset. And I can understand why you're upset. Marathon was a single-player game. Destiny has been Bungie's main focus for like a decade now, and some people don't enjoy the fact that it's a multiplayer online game. And even then, Destiny, I love playing Destiny, but for me, I know that the story is not really the thing I come here for. I come here because it's fun. Gameplay is great. All the different mechanics are a lot of fun. I love making my guy look cooler and cooler, but I'm not really here for the story. The story is fun in a pulp way, but it's not really deep and engaging like Marathon or Halo was. So I can understand why people are upset about Marathon, but is it really all that important that it's not a single player game? The reason is, listen, the people who made Marathon are not there at Bungie anymore. People who made Halo are not there at Bungie anymore. Some of them might be, most of them are probably not. They move on to other things, other studios, other career paths, whatever, right? It's a different studio now, and it's also a different time. People have 2 reactions to Marathon that I've seen online. Either oh cool, a new Marathon game, that looks fun, I love Marathon. And then there are people who are like, how dare you make it an extraction shooter, it's the worst thing ever and I hate you. And that's just really bizarre for me. So I've never actually played an extraction game. So while extraction shooters might not be particularly my thing, they are very popular. People love Escape from Tarkov, they love Hunt Showdown. Dark and Darker was really huge, and whenever Nexon came in and told them they couldn't make their game anymore, we were all pretty pissed about that. So it's not that extraction shooters are bad, even though everyone's retweeting the Marathon trailer being it's an extraction shooter. Extraction shooter? Shut up. The gaming industry has evolved in the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Okay? And what is popular now with people now is different from what was popular then, or even a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I mean, extraction shooters are all just an extension of the Battle Royale game. And like it or not, play it or not, Fortnite is one of the most popular games. And people love Battle Royales. PUBG was huge when it was a thing. People fucking love Fortnite. They love all these Battle Royale games. And the fact that Bungie is doing something in that vein, the vein of a Battle Royale and extraction shooter, is just good business. It just makes perfect sense as a company. If you're having a multiplayer game and it's doing really well for you financially and people are playing and liking it, it makes sense to expand, have another game, and make it a Battle Royale / extraction shooter. It honestly is just why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you see this money sitting there and be well, we have a good idea for that, let's try it out. It'd be different if this game came out and was bad and we all hated it. That'd be one thing, right? If this game came out, it was an extraction shooter, and we were oh my god, Bungie made a clear cash grab and making an extraction shooter, this sucks. But it sounds like, watching the vid doc and looking at stuff about it, it seems like they're taking their time, they really put a lot of thought into it. Addressing the people who think that the fact that it's not a first person story campaign thing, I understand why you're upset, but there's so many other games you can be playing. You can play the old Marathon games, they're free, they're open source. I might play them on this channel at some point. You can get all 3 Marathons, people are making fan levels and mods of it. play Marathon. Go play old Marathon. It's never left. It's still there and accessible for you. This is a new game in the series. It's taking what they started with Marathon, the first-person genre, what they helped craft back then in making the first-person genre with that and Path of Darkness, and they are pushing the envelope forward and evolving with the times, and maybe even making like the new top extraction shooter. Who knows, man? Like, and for everyone thinking that this is like, we're not gonna lose out on story and plot, there's already an alternate reality game happening right now with the new Marathon game. And if you play the old Marathon games, and there's this really funny tweet I saw where someone's like, all of you are upset, but like none of you played the old Marathon games. You know that the way the story was presented in the OG Marathon games was through terminals. You would go around the map and you would find terminals and you would read them. And that's how you got your story. So if you think that like they're not gonna do that again, I mean, I hope they do. It would be weird to not have them do that. It makes perfect sense to have a completely like, you know, multiplayer PvPvE type game and tell stories through like the environments, the world building, like audio logs, text files, ARGs. That is in line with Marathon. That is perfectly Marathon right there. In this game, you play as like people who are being like controlled by some corporation or being controlled to go grab these things, and like this kind of fits into other themes of Marathon of being controlled to do something, and I think it just makes sense. And am I sad that there's gonna be no like story missions or campaigns or like dungeons or raids like in Destiny? Yes, of course I am. And maybe they add in those modes down the line. I mean, Destiny 2's been out for 7 years and they just added in fishing, so you never know what can happen. But we still have Destiny, and there's still so many other first-person shooters out there with great stories that you can play. You can play OG Marathon. You can, I mean, I of course at the moment I can't think of anything but the bolt gun game that just came out from Warhammer. But what I'm saying is, you look at first-person shooters on like Steam or GOG or Epic or whatever you get your games from. You can find a bunch of games there to play that have a good story and they're in first person. If you're upset that Marathon isn't that, I think you're being picky. I think you need to calm down. There's so many games you can be playing. Play the ones that make you happy. Now you can dislike the fact that this is an extraction shooter, but you can't just dislike it because it is that. You can dislike it because you wish it was what it once was, but also understand that what it once was is still around. So I'm not upset. I'm a longtime Bungie fan. I think this is a smart business move, and I hope that they make an extraction shooter that actually appeals to me. I think they might. I trust them, and if not, if anything, it'll be a good, fun game to play. Because if Bungie knows how to do anything, it's that game feel is so fucking good. So I don't want to invalidate anybody's opinions, but I'm just saying that maybe you're wrong, and maybe I'm wrong, and that's okay. But we'll find out when the game comes out after the day one patch. But I hope it's good. I'll be playing Marathon when it comes out. I'm excited to play an extraction shooter that's actually maybe good and appeals to me. Tarkov looks too scary, so does Hunt Showdown, and Dark and Darker is difficult as fuck, and also I can't play it anymore. So maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a discussion, we'll yell at each other, we'll bicker, we'll bitch. The bitcher, and you know, it'd be fun. So I hope Marathon is a good game. If you're interested at all in the story, you can just follow along on the ARG. I'm gonna do it as well. Maybe I'll do a video, I don't know. But anyway, that's all I have to say for today. Marathon looks like it's a lot of fun. The art style looks fantastic. The music was great. It looks really cool. Looks interesting. I hope it's like I hope it is like PvPvE, where you fight things in the world and then you can fight other players. There's so many cool Marathon creatures and monsters and aliens to fight that it would be a disservice to not have them be just the environment creatures, and then you run into other runners and then fights happen. Maybe you kill each other, maybe you don't, who knows. I'm gonna follow the production of this game pretty closely. I'm very excited. Subscribe for more Destiny Marathon content. I'm gonna play Marathon. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay Jawesome out there.